Hey, welcome back. Yeah, yesterday I was talking about that video, that religious video, and I was a little hesitant to talk about it because I didn't want to minimize someone who I like sent me the video, and I didn't want to minimize their experience. The only reason I kind of feel comfortable talking about it is because I don't think I'm saying anything bad, and also I don't think he would watch this, so it's okay. um, and I was just feeling like about religion, and it is really important for me to figure this stuff out. I don't know what's right, and maybe there are 9 dimensions, and I don't know. So the video, I didn't even really explain it too well last time, but it was about this guy. It's some kind of thing where, like, he was saying he remembered his past lives, and then he went through, I don't really know what the philosophy it is, some kind of like Asian Hindu something, where there's 9 dimensions of reality. It was pretty interesting to hear him talk because I never heard this thing before. And obviously when he's talking about dimensions, he's not, I think he's just using dimension as like, he's not using it like spatial dimension or geometry dimension. He's just saying like existences or experiences, reality or whatever. So he was saying like the 3rd dimension is this dimension, and the 4th dimension is being connected to all. So here's the thing. I mean, I like what he was saying. And I almost probably kind of agree with him. Like, the idea is something you've probably heard before. It's just like being connected to all life. And you use this dimension philosophy to see how you're connected to all life and all time. And you're part of it. And so, like, when you die, obviously you come back because you're just returning. You're returning to the darkness, to the ocean of everything. You're transforming into the 9th dimension, and then you come back into the 3rd dimension. And the 3rd dimension is the universe experiencing itself. It's like 2.5 hours of that kind of talk, and so if you want to listen to that, you can. And it's interesting. And the funny thing is, this is going to sound really reductive, and I don't mean it to be, but in the end, the guy was like, and so, like, practically all this stuff you're saying is really cool. Like, how is it useful on a practical basis? And the guy he's talking to, his name's like Matthias or something. He basically said in a roundabout way, like, be good and do what makes you happy. And I'm like, okay, that's everything. I mean, that's all philosophies. We always just take, even Christianity, we always just take a roundabout journey to that answer. And I think we do add like extra things like gods and dimensions and demons and angels because we're scared of the simplicity of it. Like, is it really that simple? Just be nice and do what makes you happy, and that's it. That's all we do our whole life. And the answer is kind of, yeah. I mean, what else? And it's kind of scary. So we add all these other things, like all these images of like, oh, Jesus he's the savior and he's the Messiah. Because we're bored and we don't want it to be that simple. We don't know what we're doing, and we don't want it to be so simple. But any philosophy, like I watch these stupid Reiki videos for ASMR, and they basically say the same thing too. Like, they have all this extra wording and like, oh, your chakras, and oh, your soul chakra, you gotta be heart chakra grounded, and then at the end of the day, she's basically just saying like, this is gonna make you be nicer, and this is gonna make you like things more. And that's it. That's all everything is. It's just extra stuff. Oh, I've finished. I thought it froze. It's a long level. Punch it. I wrote a ton of notes about this, so okay. If it helps you, good. That's always wants to be... what am I doing? I lost... So, I always have to preface everything, and I really mean this. Like, if it's helping you, then it's helping you, and I don't want to take it away from anybody. But the whole point is just, like, it doesn't help me. The non-falsifiable stuff doesn't help me. And that's everything. When you come to philosophy and religion, everything is non-falsifiable. There's no way to know if this guy's crazy or not, because it's all happening in his head. Brains are crazy. They can make you experience weird things. My problem with ideologies like this is because they are based on experiences and not on any kind of falsifiable truth. It can be misused and distorted like any religion. If it helps you be good, then great, but it can be turned since there's no foundation, only philosophy. So basing your life on that is scary for me. A moralist existence. You can use this philosophy to say that murder isn't bad because you're returning them or opening their eyes to the ninth dimension. That's not what this guy is saying, but since there's no foundation, in fact, you could say it, and he also does say that there is no concept of good and evil in nature, so there you go. But a scientific person would say death is bad because it ceases your brain function and terminates everything you are, and it's not right to do that. I'm just reading. I had a lot of notes. So I need to base my life on falsifiable facts. I didn't know that before. Jesus' resurrection is falsifiable, but not by me, sadly. So that's faith. Also no practical use except blah blah blah. I just said that. How do we deal with poor people? What if just doing whatever you want isn't enough? Just tell the poor people they're 9-dimension beings and then go on your way. He never once acted like he was unsure. That's something I wanted to talk about. That bothered me. So this guy, I mean, he looks like he's 30 years old. He's my age. And they talked for 2.5 hours about look at this. I remember, I mean, everybody had this experience, but like the first time you saw this thing, like you're on the freaking halo. It's such a cool idea. It's so cool. Look at that. Freaking blew my mind. You're on this thing here, that you're on that. Okay. So the guy he talked to for 2.5 hours was really charismatic, like a young guy talking about 9 dimensions and his past lives. He never once said, like, I kind of had this memory, but like I'm not sure. Or, like, I'm not sure about the 8th dimension. Like, we don't really know what the 8th dimension is, but we have some thoughts about it. He knew exactly what the 8th dimension was. And what the 9th dimension was. And what the 7th dimension was. He went through all the dimensions and he knew exactly what they were. Not even scientists know that much about, like, trees. If you ask someone who studied, like an arborologist or whatever, who studied trees their entire life, and you're like, well, what's this tree? And they would still be like, oh, it's like this, kind of, but like sometimes it's like this, and we don't really know about this yet. We're still studying this. To act like you know, he didn't act like he knew everything, but he didn't question anything, and that's the thing that kind of scares me about those philosophies. Oh, I'm dead. He got me with the needler. I'm just gonna run away. And of course, it's all based on like, I'm not anti-drugs, but he was like, I took ayahuasca and it's all happening in your head. How can you feel like you're connected to the ninth dimension or whatever, and you can remember your past lives, but it's still all just happening in your head. What he was saying is like, oh, your cells, you have brain cells, and like those brain cells have a function, and they can retain their function, and then they move on to another body. And so that's how you remember your past lives. I mean, fine, maybe, but to act like you know that, like, I'm not going to act like I know that that's true or not, but there's no scientific evidence for it, and how do you know? Like, you just feel it in your brain, in your head? How can you trust a feeling to tell you something so specific? You're trusting a feeling that there are 9 dimensions? I don't know. I might be over-explaining this, but you can get me. Spoopity-boo. I want to get in that Banshee, boy. Come at me, Banshee, man. Hey. Hey. So he's going down. Come at me. Oh, here he comes. Oh, 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 oh. Ow, 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 ow. Ow, 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 ow. He's got the needler. Hey. Give me the needler. Ooh. So yeah, there were some interesting things that I mentioned in there that I just glossed over. I don't know. Here's the interesting thing. Philosophy and religion and all this kind of stuff, spiritual stuff, is meant to just help you. It's not really meant, and the reason why it can't be meant to be used like on a larger scale is because there is no I keep saying that stupid word, falsifiable. Like, oh, you know what falsifiable means. But I don't know. You can't say that we should kill all the poor people because of the 9 dimensions, right? You can't do that. But you can say, oh, I need to help poor people because of my relationship to the 9 dimensions. Philosophy. So this is why it works, because I'm almost dead. I gotta remember that shield mechanic thing. Reload the needler. Well, they're saying this is why it works. I'm dead. Sorry. Distracted by the brutes. Yeah, I just want to die. Oh, and you're all the way back here? Oof, aloof. That's rough. I want to get this point out. Hold on. I don't know. I guess my point was just like, it's okay. The goal of religion is just to make you good and better and to enjoy life more. And if you can believe in like whatever you need to believe in to get there is okay. It's fine. Like, even if there's nothing to prove it or there's no basis for it. But like when you have to actually do stuff in the real world, you have to make a TV. You can't just use religion. Obviously. But I'm even like in social, when you make rules and when you make it's not a, I don't know. It's not making sense. You guys ever try ayahuasca? I don't know. I guess that's the last time I'll talk about it. This is the last day I'll talk about that. I'm not a spiritual person, I guess. I shouldn't say that, because who knows what I am. But these kind of spiritual philosophies I'm noticing, like even Christian stuff. I'm a Christian. A lot of it doesn't help me. So like anytime this guy talking about the 9 dimensions, like I experienced a second life in my 9 dimensions, and I lived in Egypt. It could just be, I don't know, you could just be crazy. Well, how am I, you have nothing to base what you're saying on. And then you could say like, oh, you have to experience it, but any experience I have is going to be in my brain too. So like, brains can't be trusted. Sometimes you see, it distorts. I mean, like look at an optical illusion, or just like, here's proof here. You close one eye, and you look at your finger, and you say, where's your finger? Your brain is telling you it's right here, right? Well, close the other eye. Well, it just moved. It moved here now. Now it's here. Like I'm pointing at it. And well, now it's over here. I mean, obviously there is a position where my finger is. But relative to your brain, I mean, it's kind of a stupid example, but the point is your brain is just an organ. It does weird stuff. If you take drugs and you experience something and it makes you a better person, I'm happy, but doesn't mean that there's 9 dimensions. There's no way to prove that. I don't know. Hopefully, Vault, if you're still watching this ramble, like you can make sense of what I'm saying. But like, I had a weird day with therapy today, and I don't know what I'm talking about. See you tomorrow.